Hello and welcome back to Journalists Broadcasting. I'm Amelia.
And I'm MJ.
And this is our second episode because we're only uploading once a month.
Yes.
So this episode is about should boys be taught about periods? So MJ, what do you think?
I think they should because, like, obviously we've both watched Sex Education.
Yeah.
Just finished it. Brilliant. Go watch it. And like they separated the boys and girls. So the boys were taught about like all the STDs that they can get, and then girls were taught about periods and giving birth and stuff like that. And you're like, well, they should be learning about both. It shouldn't just be one learns one and one learns the other. At the end of the day, you need to know about both.
Yeah. And I think that boys learning about periods would teach them so much more respect as well.
Yeah.
Because how many times have you been on your period in excruciating pain, about to literally throw up, and a boy goes, "But it's not even that bad," and you're like,
or it's when they go, man up.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
you're like,
I'm not a man, so.
Like, stop.
Oh god, it just. I'm not being funny, but we learnt about male anatomy. Why couldn't they learn about female anatomy?
Exactly.
At the age of 14, I was learning about, yeah, that kind of stuff. And at the age of 15, I swear in like a sex education class, we had to put condoms on a dildo to learn how to put a condom on an incompetent boy. But then boys can't be taught about periods because it's such an awkward conversation.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be.
Exactly.
It doesn't need
It's a monthly thing that every woman goes through.
Yeah.
Literally half the population goes through it. Why is it such an awkward situation?
And it's not as if it's just like, oh yeah, it only happens from like 12 until you're like 20. No.
It literally happens
starting
like
younger
majority
as well.
of your life.
It's starting younger. I can't remember who done the study, but there was a study that actually said girls are coming in, starting puberty at like 8 now.
Jesus.
8 or 9.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're starting it in like year 4 or 5 now. It's ridiculous. And then you grow up, you learn how to deal with it yourself and like what works for you in your period. But then you get into a like committed relationship and you kind of just automatically expect them to know.
Because they should.
They
should
should
have been taught
know.
that. I mean, we're lucky enough to have boyfriends who understand.
Yeah.
Like, but I remember, like, one time I was on my period, I was in such, like, a huge amount of pain. And Adam was like, why do girls get cramps on the periods? I was like, were you not taught this? He was like, no, boys were always taken out of the room when girls were taught about periods. And then I just kind of sat there, I was like, why? Because I think if a girl gets into a relationship with a boy that has no idea what's going on, he's not really respectful of it, that creates such a toxic environment for that relationship.
But also as well, it makes it awkward for you to sit there and have to like say to your other half, yeah, this is what happens, this is...
Yeah, why are boys...
I am going to be an utter bitch.
Why are boys learning about periods from their girlfriends at the age of 20?
Yeah,
why aren't
exactly.
they learning about it earlier? Like, girls have been going through it for what, like 8-9 years by that point, and you're only just learning about it because your girlfriend is having to tell you what she's going through.
Yeah.
And I just think it would teach boys so much more respect if they knew what we go through as well, because the amount of respect we get from boys is just ridiculous. Like, I mean, there's so much sexism going on. You know, women could repopulate the earth on their own because there's now, I think I learnt this in my psychology A level, you can actually turn female bone marrow into sperm. So you can actually create a child from just a woman. But you can't create a sandwich on your own in the kitchen without a woman making it for you.
The thing is as well, men think that they're like superior and everything, but without a woman,
you wouldn't be
there
able to
wouldn't be a man.
repopulate. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to reproduce. If, say, we went into an apocalypse, we could easily just get some bone marrow, get an egg, make a baby. What can you do? You can't even make a sandwich on your own. You have to get a woman to make it for you because she belongs in the kitchen.
Yeah, no.
I wish we could go back to Viking era because they were, like, serious feminists. If a man made his wife a cup of tea and she didn't like it, she could divorce him and that man would be looked down on for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I love that. That's such a power move.
Yeah,
Just, I'm
brilliant.
divorcing you because I don't like this cup of tea.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well,
My life
great,
is
now I've
screwed.
just lost my whole life.
But now it's like the other way round.
I know, I don't know where things changed. I don't know how things got
I don't
so screwed
know.
up.
I really don't.
And it's just, I mean, for example, so I have to take these for my period, because awkward conversation, I know, but it has to be talked about. Mine are way too heavy, like to the point if I don't take these, I feel really lightheaded. Like I would literally pass out because I'm losing so much blood.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I have to pay £9.25 just for these to have a normal period.
It's ridiculous.
I've been paying for these. Well, actually, I've been paying for these since I was 18, but I've been on them since I was like 14.
Yeah.
I have to pay. I mean,
Paying for
they last.
prescriptions is ridiculous.
They
as well.
last. They last 2 months, so it's 2 periods they last for. For the rest of my life, I'm gonna have to pay £55 a year just to have a normal period.
Yeah.
I tried coming off them because I thought I just don't want to pay for them, and I literally passed out. So, but you know, it's fine because contraceptions are free. Make it make sense.
Yeah, literally. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't.
But I
also feel like they shouldn't, like, generalise the periods that they teach as well.
they're
Because-
always like, oh yeah, well it's like in the middle it gets worse, and you know, some girls have cramps and it lasts for about 7 days. It can be so much worse for the girls.
Yeah.
Some girls, there is literal menstrual depression where girls just have depression throughout their period. They can't get out of bed. They don't have any energy. It is that bad.
But it's like there's different, like obviously not every girl's going to have the same flow or be on at the same time. Granted, yeah, if you live with loads of girls, then yeah, you will all like sync up. But
You're all going to sync up with me because I'm on the pill, so I have a specific week I'm on my period.
yeah.
You're all just going to be like, oh no, Amelia's off the pill.
Oh, God's sake.
We're all going to have our period now.
Yeah. No, but it's like, there's different, I don't want to say yeah, there's different conditions. So like, polycystic ovaries, where you could go months without having a period, and then all of a sudden it just hit you,
Yeah.
and then you're wiped out for a week.
Yeah.
Your cramps could
It
be
is-
that bad that you're like literally
I've had-
throwing up.
Yeah, I've had cramps so bad that I've literally like just been curled up on a couch for the whole day, like about to faint, about to throw up. It's horrible. But it's fine because it doesn't hurt as much as being kicked in the balls.
Oh, shut up.
Even just a woman say that, you're like, shut
Shut up.
up. But it is, like, I mean...
I just think it's funny how we're told to man up, right? When a woman is on her period, your body releases testosterone. So us whining and crying
It's being a man.
is us being men.
So the thing is, women can be in the most excruciating pain, be able to go to school, go to work or whatever, and be able to hide it. A man plays football, gets kicked in the shin and starts crying saying he's broken his leg.
You don't even need to get kicked in the shin. You just get... That's it, you're wiped out.
That's it.
You're done.
It's over
You're done for
you.
the season.
But there are so many like symptoms, I guess, of a period. Like
Yeah.
every girl experiences it differently, but the general ones are like cramping, horribly like bad bleeding. You get acne, you get greasy hair, you get bloating. So you know, even though girls
Body
feel bad,
aches.
they can't even make themselves look good.
No.
When a girl feels bad about herself, she wants to make herself look good so she feels good. That's not an option on a period.
No.
You just constantly look and feel bad.
You just...
It's great.
It's horrible.
But I do think that if boys learn about periods, they'd be taught so much more respect.
Yeah.
Because we have so much to go through as well as periods. Like we have sexual harassment, sexual assault, rape, murder, the whole
Giving
thing.
birth.
Giving birth. By the
Carrying
way,
a baby.
women used to die during childbirth. That's how bad it can be.
Yeah.
Women still die from childbirth.
Yeah.
That's how bad it can
The
be.
amount of complications you can get as well, like
Yeah.
preeclampsia. If you get preeclampsia,
Yeah.
your pregnancy is gonna have so many issues.
And you know, like, you know how every month we get cramps on our period. Apparently, when you go through, like, childbirth and you go into labour, because you haven't been having a period for 9 months, apparently, this is what I've heard anyway, when you're in labour, that's those 9 months of period cramps all just crammed into one.
No, thank you. Give me the epidural now.
But
take the pain away. Gas in there now. Come on.
But I do think, like, I just think if boys knew what we went through from a young age, if they were taught that sort of respect, there wouldn't be as many other cases of, like, sexual harassment, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it's just boys being stupid. Like, and I mean, I'm not saying, oh, well, it's just boys being boys, because sometimes it is just disgusting people. But throughout school, I was groped by boys who would just find it funny. Like, I had one boy, and I couldn't even tell the school, because from previous years, this one boy used to bully me. I told the school, I reported it. What did they do?
Nothing.
Oh, we'll have a little conversation with him and then carry on. There was no detention, no isolation, nothing like that. It was just, they had a conversation with him and then it carried on.
And it probably wasn't even a conversation.
Yeah. And then in later years, he was actually part of groping me. So he grabbed his friend's hand and put it really high on my thigh in the middle of a DT class and started laughing about it. And I felt like I couldn't go to the school because I thought they'd just have the same response of, oh, we'll have a small conversation, but, you know, boys will be boys, get over it.
It shouldn't be like that.
I know. For a girl who goes to school, 16 years of her life, for her to not even feel safe enough to talk to a teacher for 16 years of her life, when she spends that much time at school, for her to not be able to go to the school and say, look, this has happened, I find that so scary. But I feel like teachers don't even understand either. I remember my friend, when she was on her period, she literally fainted in the middle of a class. She went to her head of house and she was like, I've got PE next, I think I have to go home, I'm not going to be able to make it through PE. And the teacher was like, you're fine, go to your next lesson. This was a female teacher who knows how bad it is. My friend was like, but I literally just fainted and I was sat down, like, I'm going to be moving around in PE, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. What did she do? Went back to PE, fainted, and had to go home. That could have been avoided if the teacher just let her go home when she said, I know how bad this is because it's my period.
And also saying to girls as well, like especially in secondary school, because majority of the time your period is throughout secondary school, saying that being off because period pains and period sicknesses is not a good enough excuse is disgusting.
It is.
Makes me feel physically sick.
Every time I was on a period, I dread going to school.
Yeah.
Because I think, what if, like, I bleed too much and I leak during a lesson? That's so embarrassing. What if I get back cramps so bad that I faint or throw up during a lesson? It was constant worries.
It's embarrassing.
It's like...
It's ridiculous.
I think that periods are a perfectly good excuse for not being at work or not being at school, because it is such an intense thing for a week, every month.
The thing is, it goes back to the, like, generalisation of it. They just expect every girl to have the exact same period. Everyone's got different pain tolerances. So, like, my period pains are, like, excruciating for me. They could knock you out.
Yeah.
Or they could not affect you at all.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
But, like, again...
And vice versa. It's ridiculous. Girls shouldn't have to feel like, great, I'm on my period, so I've got to deal with that. I've then got to deal with schoolwork. I've then got to deal with friends being horrible as well.
Got to deal with bullying. Got to deal with sexual harassment.
There's so much.
There is too much going on. That one thing you kind of just want to be able to relax from. But, like, again, with the whole sexual harassment thing, I do think that a lot of it stems from boys not being taught respect early on enough.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. The whole thing with Sarah Everard, that literally, I was too terrified to live my life normally after that.
I didn't want to go out.
No. And the fact that it was a police officer as well.
That's what makes it worse.
We can't even trust the police now. You know, the police don't even know how to protect us. They were like, oh, well, if it happens to you, just wave down a bus. What if there's not a bus? Oh, well, you could ask them to call someone else on a radio. They could call someone who's in on it on a radio. Like, these are the thoughts we have to think about.
The disturbing thing is, it was released that there was a group chat
where they all were sexist, homophobic, racist.
So you can't even like say, oh yeah, well.
Yeah, it could have been avoided. If they saw this group chat, they could have thought, right, we're firing them all because they're all toxic. They're all.
Yeah, but they won't.
Yeah. And the police turned around and said...
It wasn't even normal police, it was men.
No. They turned around and said, what can we do to make you all feel safe? You're the police, you're meant to make us feel safe.
First off, don't tackle women when they're trying to respect another woman who's been murdered by one of your fellow colleagues.
Yeah. And also, we don't know how to protect ourselves. That's your job. Why are you asking us how to do it?
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is pepper spray. And that's illegal in the UK, so I guess I can't even defend myself.
There is an alternative though.
Mm.
But even then, that's still dodgy to have.
I might just... I always carry deodorant in my bag anyway in case I need to freshen up. If I'm attacked, I'll just spray deodorant in my eyes. Because that does blind you, or at least it's too painful for you to see for a while.
Perfume.
But then I also have that thought of, well, what if I defend myself and then it's a woman's word against a man's? And he'll win in court and say that I just attacked him out of nowhere.
Yeah. Even if you say that you don't have self-defence, they'll still go off of a man's word.
But then again, I'd rather go to jail than be raped, so...
Still
using the deodorant.
Yes.
Still using the deodorant. Anyone want to attack me?
I'm just gonna... I thought you was actually gonna spray it.
I was actually gonna spray it into the camera.
Right then.
But, I mean, boys, like... It starts in school and then the teachers don't stop it. Like, at my school, boys would, like, grope me as I was walking out of the classroom, or if I stood up and went... Say I was in, like, science and I went to go get a flask or something, and, like, boys would walk up behind me and do stuff. And it was like teachers didn't pay any attention to it. All of this can be avoided if boys are just taught respect from a very young age. I mean, there are just some disgusting people who will always do something like that. Yeah. It's not always down to... like education, but a lot of it could be avoided.
Most of it could be avoided.
Yeah. But yeah, so what do you think? Do you think boys should be taught about periods? Let us know. So thanks for watching. This was a bit more of a serious episode. I think next time we're going to do a bit of a upbeat one. So we'll see you next time. Goodbye.